right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to tackle something that drives pretty much every laptop owner crazy at some point. You know what I'm talking about? That moment your laptop decides to become a furnace, sound like a jet engine, and slow to a crawl. Usually right when you need it the most.
So, is your laptop secretly doubling as a space heater? I mean, does this sound familiar? You're in the zone, getting work done, and then bam, the fans kick into overdrive. It sounds like a 747 is about to take off from your desk. The bottom gets hot enough to fry an egg, and everything just grinds to a halt. Yeah, that's not just annoying, that's your laptop screaming for help.
So what's actually happening here? Well, the culprit is something called thermal throttling. You can see it right there. It's basically your laptop's emergency brake. It's a built-in safety feature, right? To keep the components from, literally melting, the computer intentionally slows itself down. It's smart, for sure, but it's also the exact reason your performance dies right when you need it most.
So how do we fix this whole mess? Well, before we dive into any fancy software settings, we've got to start with the basics, the absolute foundation. And believe it or not, it's all about where you put your laptop.
And honestly, this is so simple it's almost funny. Your laptop has to breathe, right? It's got vents on the bottom, on the sides to pull in cool air and push out hot air. So when you put it on your bed, or a couch, or a blanket, you're basically suffocating it. It's like putting a pillow over its face. All that heat gets trapped with nowhere to go.
And look, this quote says it all. This is the absolute ground floor. None of the other tricks we're about to talk about will work properly if your laptop can't physically cool itself. So rule number one, the most important rule, use a hard, flat surface. Give the thing some room to breathe. Okay, on to our next section. Now that your laptop is on a hard surface and can actually breathe, let's get to the real magic. We're going to go into the software and tackle this problem right at the source with a ridiculously simple but super powerful tweak.
And here it is, 99%. That's it. That's the magic number. You're going to want to remember this, because this one tiny change is the secret to stopping your processor from going wild and turning into a mini furnace. This is how you get your cool, quiet laptop back.
So what does setting it to 99% actually do? Well, modern processors have this feature called CPU Turbo Boost. Think of it like a car's turbo kicking in for a quick burst of speed. The problem? That boost generates a ton of heat, way more than a little laptop fan can handle. So by setting the max processor state to 99%, we're basically telling the CPU, hey, never use that turbo. And the best part? For most things you do every day, you won't even notice the performance difference. But you will notice a huge drop in heat and fan noise.
And for most of you on Windows, this is super easy to do. You just dive into your control panel, find the power options, and click through a couple of menus until you see Processor Power Management. From there, just change Maximum Processor State to 99% for both when it's plugged in and when it's on battery. Hit Apply, and I'm not kidding, you'll probably hear the fan spin down almost immediately. It's that fast.
Okay, but what if you do all that and nothing happens? If you're scratching your head right now, you probably have a newer laptop, especially one with a modern Intel chip. Don't worry, the trick isn't broken. It's just that these new CPUs are a bit different.
So here's the deal with these new chips. They have what are called P cores and E cores. Think of the E cores, the efficient ones, as your everyday workers. The P cores, the performance cores, are your heavy lifters. And guess what? Those P cores are the ones that generate all the crazy heat. The problem is that simple 99% setting in the menu, a lot of the time, it only slows down the E cores while the P cores are still running at full blast, just pumping out heat.
Okay, so for all of you with these newer machines, we've got to get our hands a little dirty. We're heading into the command prompt. Now, don't be intimidated. It looks scary, but it's really just a few simple copy and paste commands. First things first, open it as an administrator. We're going to create a duplicate of your current power plan. That way we're not messing with the original settings. Just follow along with these steps, and you can always pause if you need to.
All right, part 2 of the advanced fix. We're going to use these 2 commands to tweak that new plan we just made. All you have to do is replace the guide part with that long string of numbers you got in the last step. The first command handles when you're plugged in, and the second one handles when you're on battery. And this is the key. This forces that 99% limit on every single core, including those super hot P cores.
And now for the final crucial command. We have to actually activate the new plan we just customized. This one last line makes it the active power plan. The second you hit enter, it's done. The changes are live. You have officially tamed the beast.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit. What if your problem isn't a constant low-level heat, but a sudden, out-of-nowhere heat wave where the fans go crazy? Well, that's usually a different beast entirely. It's probably a single app that's gone rogue.
Think of this table as your quick and dirty guide to figuring out what's wrong. If the heat is on your lap because you're on a bed, the fix is easy. Move it. If it's always hot, that's the 99% trick. But if you get that sudden spike of heat and noise, that's almost always a runaway process. Your first job isn't to mess with power settings. It's to play detective and hunt down that one bad app.
And here's your emergency toolkit. These keyboard shortcuts are your best friend when things go wrong. Seriously, memorize them. For Windows, hit Control-Shift-Escape to bring up the Task Manager. On a Mac, Command-Option-Escape. Just pop that open, sort the list by CPU usage to see who the top offender is, and click End Task. Boom, crisis averted.
All right, on to our last section. So we've handled the immediate problems, the day-to-day stuff, but how do you keep your laptop cool and happy for the long haul? It's all about a little bit of simple maintenance.
And the number one enemy of your laptop's health over time is something you can barely even see: dust. It's slow, it's silent, but it's always building up. It gets pulled into the vents, coats the fan blades, and basically creates a warm little blanket over all the parts that are desperate to stay cool. It just gets worse and worse over time.
But the good news is you can totally fight back and you don't even have to open the case. All you need is a can of compressed air. Once a year or so, just shut the laptop down completely, unplug it, and give the vents a few short bursts of air. Now, here's a pro tip. Use short bursts. You don't want to spin the fan like a pinwheel because that can actually damage it. Just a few quick puffs is all it takes.
So when you put this all together, here's your complete action plan. 40% of the battle is just airflow. That's your foundation. 30% is that 99% power limit trick. That's your active control. Then you've got software control. That's your emergency plan. And finally, that 10% for cleaning. Think of that as your long-term insurance policy. It's a complete strategy.
Okay, so let's boil it all down. Here are the 4 key takeaways. Number 1, give it air. Always use it on a hard surface. Number 2, set the limit. That 99% setting is your best friend. Number 3, know your shortcuts to kill bad apps. And number 4, keep it clean. If you can do those 4 things, you are in complete control of your laptop's temperature.
And the payoff for all this? It's simple. A laptop that's cooler, quieter, and frankly, longer lasting. You're not just making it more pleasant to use today, you're actually extending its life. You are back in the driver's seat.
You know, it really just goes to show how a tiny piece of information can totally change how you use your technology. It really makes you think, doesn't it? If a simple fix like this can solve such a huge problem, what other secrets is your computer hiding, just waiting for you to unlock?